Champions League, I'd be loud as fuck. But that's just me.
Well, that's because I act like I've been there before.
Yo, can someone text my bro? We live?
Yeah, we're live. I just realized my tan's looking good from coaching.
You got my haircut recently because the hair is not bad either.
Thank you. I mean, if Liverpool wins the Champions, I gotta look good, you know.
Yeah,
all right, I'll stop all this, bro. I'll stop all this right now. Why don't you pull that sweater up, expose Fat Huss for who he is?
Damn, bro, you're going out of his life, bro. He just won the Champions.
You want to hear that one? Is that what you want to see? Is that what you want to hear?
Yo, what? Huss has a shirt with a quote on it? Yo, I need that, bro. Where'd you get that?
If you listen, you'll learn.
Where'd you get that?
That was on the PFC shop for a while.
All right, well, we need to get the shop back going because I need a quote of mine, and that's going to be Lukaku's garbage.
So you want to open up the shop just so you can have your own quote on you.
Yes.
And that's a horrible quote, too. It's not even a good quote.
First off, this is a great quote. You're talking about mine?
We need to get a quote.
People can't really see you. Why don't you say what the quote is?
We need to get a quote with Huss that says, when it comes down to it. That's the quote you need on his shirt.
That's a good one.
I have a lot of quotes.
Yeah, we're gonna spell quadas as well. That's another one spelled QWUAARTER. No, TA at the end. Quada. Anyway, ladies and gents, PFC special here for you. Hope everyone's enjoying their Mondays. Well, we're here to give you, some light. Just to ease up your day a little bit here. This is the Champions League Final special right here. Nah, don't worry about Europa League. This is the Champions League special.
4-1, great game.
Yeah, okay. Nah, don't worry, Bert, you missed it, but we gave it to Tom, bro. We gave it to Tom. You can see he's got a little scar right there on his forehead from the beating we gave him, me and Tiki.
Nah, actually, that's from when I was over your cousin's house, and she got a little aggressive,
Well, I'll tell you what, I've got like 40 cousins, so you can take your pick. All right.
Jesus.
I almost went to your mom there, but I hesitate. I was like, I'm gonna chill out with the mom.
You can't handle my mother, bro. You wouldn't be able to handle her.
Is that a challenge? Do you want me to try bang your mom? Because that's a challenge. I'll say this.
I
don't bang down for challenges,
if you can pillage my mother's sacred area, then you deserve an award because that woman is a trooper.
What?
All right.
Oh my
Bets on.
God.
When do I make?
All right. But let's get into it. PFC 299. PFC 299 Champions League review. Liverpool 2, Spurs 0. Listen, this was a boring ass game to watch.
Chill.
Hold on 1 second. Keep going in. Give me 1 second.
Chill, bro. Huss, man, how do you feel, dude?
It's weird. We were at your brother's house to watch the game. I was kind of talking with him afterwards where I was saying I'm excited, but I wasn't going over dramatic with that excitement at the end of that game because there was so much build-up and excitement with the Barcelona game that coming into this, it was, if we win, we did what we expected. If we lose, I'm going to be sad. So we won. Great. Awesome. That's good. And there was no dramatic goals in this game.
Tom, hold up, Huss. You were waving a towel around your head, flying around trying to slap me in the face with a hand towel. What are you talking about? I was calm. You were fucking jumping onto your pants. What the fuck are you talking about?
All right. So I did have a hand towel. I was kind of swinging around, and I did kind of put it in his face.
Hobby horse around the kitchen.
Yeah, okay. Technically, I was hopping around and running around the house. But, Al, if you think of like a Champions League final winning, you think that was as far as I would have went? I feel like there was a possibility I could have ran around the neighborhood, like that type of excitement. But no, my excitement level, even though you thought it was like an 8 out of 10, that was only a 6 for me.
Look, Huss, was it Istanbul? Was it the comeback against Milan? No, but stop acting like you're too cool for school and all this shit, and act like you've been there before. Well, I'll tell you what, you haven't been there in about 20 plus years. Okay?
No.
14 years. 14 years.
14 years, more than a decade.
2005.
Dude. And this was major pressure for Klopp. This was a legacy-defining game for a lot of guys. For me, for a guy like Jordan Henderson, this will define his legacy right here, man. This dude, one of the few captains to captain Liverpool to a Champions League win. I mean, he's on that list now with Graham Souness, Steven Gerrard, and I look at him and people were like, oh, all right, this was the guy to come in and replace Gerrard. And I shat on this dude for so many years. So many years I shat on this dude. I did not see it. I thought he should have been cut, honestly. I thought he should have been let go, sold a long time ago.
Look at the guys around him. That's why he's able to have a decent role in this team. If you're looking to fucking Henderson to carry through 90 minutes, it's not going to happen. You got Virgil van Dijk. You got Alisson. You got guys like Mane scoring goals. I mean, he didn't score in this game. He was kind of a ghost. Both attackers.
But no, he was dangerous. He was dangerous, I thought.
Dude, and you know what? But he stepped his game up out. Like, he was always like that sturdy dude who he stayed getting injured. But I didn't see, like, the leadership, because that's, like, locker room stuff that you don't see.
Yeah.
But he stepped his performances up this season, scoring goals when Klopp put him in that box-to-box role instead of the holding role. And then the Champions League final, he made some crucial, not crucial, but he made some recovery tackles. And, he just keeps the calm, man. And I'm not gassing this dude. I'm just saying that's a dude who I think his legacy was defined. It was written in stone by this game.
Well, no, but you got to go back to Al's point on what. Al, go ahead. Sorry.
If you gas anybody, man, gas the referee. Best referee I've seen in my life. Fucking dude, fucking destroyed the game.
It was a good call.
I mean, at least it was a shit call, dude.
It was a good call.
Back. How you gonna see that?
Real quick, is Al? Sorry, dude, guys. Is anyone hearing Al a little bit lower volume?
No, I hear him fine.
All right,
he's a little bit lower. He doesn't have his headphone.
All right, keep going, Al. Keep going. My bad.
Now, Tom, made in your ears.
Right in my ears. That's all I like. That's what I tell her.
The ref called the penalty 30 seconds in. I mean, technically, yes, it was a handball, but only if you saw it with VAR. The ref said he saw that with his own eyes. Like, how can you be that definitive? 30 seconds in, it's ridiculous.
But he blew it. He blew the PK. To me, he seemed confident of the call. Like, he seemed like he was like, oh, what do you want me to do? Like, it's a handball.
I think that was a good call.
He did not have to make that
call. Of course
call.
you do. You don't think it was? Or he didn't see it?
I think he saw the arm in the air, but, dude, it went off his ribs or his chest and, like his hand. Hand was fucking waving way above his head like it shouldn't be. Technically, yeah, that's a penalty. But you tell me he saw that?
Yeah. That was like the first 30 seconds of the play. It's like, how do you not see it? And Sissoko's arm was like so outstretched.
It's because he brought his arm down. If he had kept his arm in the air, I don't think he would have called it, or he would have called it and then checked VAR. But because you can see on
the trajectory of the ball changed.
No, but it hits his armpit, which I don't think is technically a handball because he's pointing, which is in a natural position because he's organizing his team. But he brings it down and then slams it, and it hits his tricep down. So by the definition of what a handball is, I mean we've seen some crazy shit. We saw with Kimpembe earlier this season.
Yep.
But if Sissoko keeps his arm in the air as if he's still organizing the defense,
or just pulls it back and twist his shoulder away.
Yeah, but he went down. That's why, because he slammed the ball down. And you can't slam the ball down with your armpit, bro.
And that was a reaction to try bring his arm down because he had realized, oh, shit. And for Mane, I know I was talking with one of my other guys, and he was like, oh, he thinks that Mane purposefully hit that ball in his arm. If he did, Mane's a genius for that. I don't think he necessarily
I don't think it was. I think he was trying to just play the ball in. I don't think that Mane was thinking his. But at the same time, his arm is still technically in a natural position when it's up here.
No,
when he's like this, when he's pointing,
that's not natural.
No, because he's
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying in terms of organization, but in terms of if a ball goes by your shoulder, your arm shouldn't be up like that. It's by your side.
Yeah, I think it would be more definitive if it touched his finger, and I'm like, all right, yeah, that's obviously a penalty. It looks like he's trying to stop it, but it hit him so low. That's why it's so controversial. At the same time, it's still a penalty. Was the right call, but the only thing is I agree with Al is that it just ruined the game just started.
Guys,
it literally just started.
Classic Spurs, man. Who else? Who else would set you up so beautifully, Huss, you lucky bastard over there, right? Just winning a Champions League final. Spurs they cushioned it for you, man. To give up a PK in the first 30 seconds, that's a choke artist move right there.
But at the same time, I thought Spurs dominated the game for much of it. They had more possession. The problem is they just didn't do anything with the ball. They didn't do anything substantial until like the 65th minute in the.
You know why, Snacks? You know why? I'll fucking tell you why. Lucas motherfucking Mora. Start. How do you not reward this guy for getting you to the goddamn final with 3 beautiful fucking goals out of his mind? Gotta play the hot hand in that regard. What did Dele Alli bring you that game? Fucking nothing.
No. Stop pointing the finger at Dele. Let's keep it real. Who was the key guy? Harry Kane. Hasn't played in over a month and a half. He gets the start.
Captain. I don't care if he's captain, not fully fit. You play Lucas Moura. You bring Harry Kane on whenever.
I think you should.
It's a ballsy call.
I think Eriksson was actually worse than Dele Alli as well. I don't think Eriksson showed up at all.
But there was a couple of times he wasn't his normal self where he like gets the ball and dictates the play.
To be fair, Mane didn't show up. Salah didn't show up.
No, because Pochettino played him out of position, guys. Look at how we started. He hung Son on the left, all to cater to Harry Kane.
You know what happened? He was the big issue, and the commentator called it up like very early in the first half. Dele was like positioned on the right hand side, but like the commentator called it, he's like Dele is in like Eriksson's area, like where Eriksson does his work. Dele was there, and that's why like they weren't able to get it going. And I didn't think they tried involving Son too much.
Eriksson was out wide.
No, but like that area that Eriksson dictates where it's like the middle and the right. Dele was there the entire time.
Yeah.
So that's why like you have to like position Dele on like I think on the left-hand side where he gets that area in the middle. And you know what I mean? I don't know. I just felt like Dele was playing in an unnatural position, so he just kind of tended to go to where he was comfortable with, and that's why he wasn't effective.
Remember the EPL when Harry Kane he obviously got injured, and then Spurs went on that run where they're like, remember I was like, word, now that Kane is out, Spurs are gonna fall apart, and then they actually won games. I think they beat Fulham and Harry Winks' header and all this stuff, and then Kane returned. And he kept scoring goals, but Spurs started losing. Remember that stretch?
Yeah, okay. So going back to what Snack says, when he said that Spurs were basically dominating most of the game. No, I don't think they were dominating.
Because I think by the stats.
Because basically, look, did Tottenham have possession? Yes. Because Liverpool changed up their scheme. Usually it's just rock and roll, press. They came back and had like a half-field press.
They parked the bus.
I'll say we got over half. But I mean, even with 35, even with like 35% possession, they still only had 2 less shots than Tottenham. Plus, they had more corners. So even though that they had less possession, they were still going at Tottenham.
Dude, Alisson made it look easy as well when he was in trouble. But I agree with you, Huss. Like Spurs. The nature of the game changed. Once that goal went in within the first minute, like they were like, oh shit, this is weird. We're in a final. Let's sit back a little bit and invite some pressure.
And they just sat in, played smart. You know, fucking Jurgen Klopp is learning gradually, man. I mean, you adapt the scheme, just sit in and counterattack with that speed in a one-on-one Champions League.
And Liverpool's a better team at countering too. And look, I mean,
they're a better team everywhere, honestly.
This is the 4th final that Klopp has been in. He had the 2016 League Cup, the 2016 Europa, 2018 Champions, and then 2019.
Wasn't he in the Champions League? Wasn't he manager when they were in 2014?
No, I'm just talking with Liverpool. Right now.
Yep.
So he has time to learn with this team, with this squad. Yes, the pressure was on him to win this because if he went 0-4, I mean that's a big deal, especially with 3 of them being major trophies.
Okay, but would that make him not a great manager? Because here's the thing that's tricky. I know winning that's a stamp, right? It puts a stamp on it. But like I was saying, Jurgen Klopp was a great manager before he won the Champions League final. It's like you see a guy like LeBron James. Okay, it took him maybe 8+ years to win his first ring, but you saw that this dude's gonna be one of the greatest of all time.
Well, I think it separates very good and great. So if he didn't win this Champions League, he'd be considered very good.
All right, then let me ask you that question. Now that you've answered that, and we all agree, right? He's great. Is he the best manager in the world?
No.
Why not? I think it still has to be Pep at the moment because they went head to head and Pep beat him.
I think head to head.
What about last year when Liverpool beat them in head to head?
No, I'm talking about league and then also
how many trophies did Liverpool come out with that season, Tom?
Okay, well, how long has Pep been trying to capture the Champions League? Why hasn't he been able to capture the Champions League? And Klopp's been there. It's his second final in 2 years in a row, and they won it this year.
We'll have to see, man. I don't know.
And he's doing less or more.
You got to look
doesn't have the same budget as Man City.
I definitely think it's like a 1A, 1B situation.
I think you just got to look at the overall resume and the overall. You got to look at everything compared, and I think Pep's just better. I understand that he's been trying to chase the Champions League. He's won it before, but like we argue, yeah, he won it with. Like you can make the same argument for like Luis Enrique, who won it with Barcelona. If Barcelona won it this year with Valverde, like you can make that same argument. Like, but like Pep is like domestically, like there's no one who even touches him. No doubt. He gets that Champions League, it's undisputed. He's the greatest manager in the world. And then he'll be the only one in the same breath as Sir Alex, in my opinion.
Well, if you talk resume, I get it. But let's talk resume. You know, which clubs has Pep been to? Only the biggest clubs in the world, right? And if you want to look domestically, Klopp this year with Liverpool, was it 1 point separation? So who's working with more? Who's working with less? Who maximizes the talent?
So I think the big difference between Pep and Klopp is that Pep is able to get these people in the right positions to succeed. And I think that Klopp gets them in the right mental position to get these guys to succeed. So mentally, I think Klopp is the best manager in the world when it comes down to getting these guys motivated and giving them the confidence to go play. I think Pep is the best strategic manager when whether the formation, style play, and again, position on the field. I think Pep is the best in that manner.
I think what separates Pep for me is the fact that he can rotate. I'm not saying he doesn't have the pieces to make those adjustments and those changes, but like we saw with Klopp, he's had his starting 11 and maybe the midfield would be shuffled around. Whereas with Pep, you never knew, other than probably Sterling. Like you could argue Gabby Jesus versus Aguero because he likes to play Gabby Jesus in certain games, but that right wing spot, for the most part, is usually free. Like, and that's just an example. I think the way he's able to get squeeze, like we talk about how Klopp squeezes the juice out of all these guys.
I was gonna say because that actually helps Klopp in that favor because he has a lot less depth than.
That's what I'm talking about, guys. So I don't think I know,
but like
we
Klopp
haven't seen Klopp manage. No offense, Huss, but a historical like A+ club. And what I mean by that is Liverpool now, I mean, you got to look at them as an A+ club. No doubt. You guys have mad history. I'm not denying that. What I mean is like the traditional since the 2000s. Like
I'll put it this way.
Man U, like the way Man City has rose, you know what I mean? With all the recent leagues they've won. Real Madrid, Barca, Bayern, like Klopp hasn't managed there yet. So do you think Liverpool is one of those clubs for him? Because he's brought you guys back.
He's got to
into relevance.
He's got to transform Liverpool into one of those teams, into a team that's winning league titles, contesting Champions League, winning Champions League. If he wins the league title, at least one or two, then he's transformed Liverpool into that elite.
That's pretty special.
But here's the thing, going back to what I was saying about rotation. Historically, back on rotation, Klopp has never been a rotational guy. Even at Dortmund, like you always knew, like the likes of Götze, Royce, Lewandowski, like those guys would start 60+ games, assuming they didn't get injured, a season. So, like, the reason why I bring up the rotation with Pep is because Klopp usually doesn't rotate his guys. Like, he has his team, and he plays them in positions, and he fields them so that...
Rotated Firmino.
Yeah, but Firmino was injured. Yeah, Huss, you got to talk about this dude, man. He scored he's 3 shots in the Champions League this season, 3 goals.
That was a great goal too, man. Like on the volley, was it?
No, it was on the ground. One time
left foot, clinical finish.
You know what? So with Origi, I think that's great finishing. It was mostly right place, right time. Because if you take that goal out of it, he didn't have a very good game.
Why would you take his goal away?
No. What I'm saying is great finish. What I'm saying is, I mean, look, I've been reading all about him. And one person that has definitely gone after Origi is Pirlo. Pirlo is not having it at all with this guy, but he only passed 50%. He had 8 passes, and he gave the ball away half the time.
But he came in as a late game sub.
No doubt, and you know what? There was an opportunity. There was an opportunity before where they went down Spurs and they attacked. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, it was a great finish. I mean, but again, was that Matip that got the assist right there?
Bro.
Yep. Yeah. What about Matip? There's another dude you guys
Let's talk about Matip real quick.
Balled out.
14 clearances, more than any other player in the knockout stages.
He was the busiest.
I think he was the most. He's the player that rose to the occasion, shall we say? Because look, Alisson, he's up there. Van Dijk, but I think Matip was the one that actually went the highest level.
How long have I been saying this dude, man? Dudes like Matip, dudes like Origi. You guys hating. I know my bro.
But again, it gets down to Matip.
Yeah, Tiki ducked the episode. You're the dude who was hating on Matip. Oh, he needs ladder work. He needs this. Blah, blah, blah.
He does. And
dude, but he's a Champions League winner.
Next to him, because if Virgil's not next to him, then he needs to be speedy. But Virgil covers so much ground that Matip's like, all right, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna do this. Guess what? I don't have to worry about tracking back as fast.
Shut your bitch ass up, best striker in the world. Shut down.
That wasn't me, bro. That wasn't Harry Kane saying that. Was me, bro. And I'm quiet on that subject. No comment.
Yeah, you better be quiet on that fishy ass subject,
bro. You know what? I'm not quiet. He came back from an injury. He was gone for a month and a half, bro. Come on, man.
So you're right. So he should have started.
No, he should. I honestly think.
So, anyways, Harry Kane, 26 touches. He averaged 40 touches per 90 minutes. He only had one shot. I mean, the guy looked sloppy. He looked unamused. He wasn't really running. He looked like he more or less looked like a speed bump.
He wasn't fit, dude. And you know what, Poch? He had to have the balls. Remember when Kimpembe shut Messi down in that first leg where PSG beat Barca 4-0, and then it was the call was on Unai Emery. Do you have the balls to start this 19-year-old again over a Marquinhos or over a Thiago Silva? He went safe route. He went traditional. Bit him in the ass, 5-4 comeback. Same thing here, Poch. Your team's been hot since Kane has been off. Lucas Moura banging a hat trick, like Al said. Son to me looked like Spurs' most dangerous player. He was running at him. Virgil van Dijk had a crucial interception where he looked like he had passed Matip, and Van Dijk was in there to nip him. But that speed.
Only Virgil makes that tackle, man. Only Virgil makes that tackle, dude. Because Son was by him. He was good.
Trent made a tackle like that. Trent with the calf. He stopped Son when he cut back and stopped the calf.
I gotta say, I think that was the point. That Trent had a good game.
So look, I've been saying this.
I'm not balls, man.
Yeah, and I don't know what the stats are exactly, but I've always felt, especially this year, that Son is a much better Champions League player than Kane. I think Kane is a better Premier League player than Son. But in this game, we even saw in the past with Lucas Moura when he played against Liverpool. There was, I think it was the first game they played. He hit 2 posts. He's quick. He's explosive. He can catch the defense when the fullbacks go up. If you have Lucas Moura, he has the speed and the skill to really.
I thought he was bad, Huss. I thought he was garbage.
No, that's just because you worked him up, so I had to go against him. But I actually like the guy a little bit, but I couldn't say that because you loved him so much. But the point is,
man,
if he starts with Son playing 9, the number 9, I think Tottenham is actually a lot more lethal.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I think you guys are going harsh on Harry Kane. I know he didn't show up in this game, man, but he's shown he's a big game player at times. Maybe not in the Champions League. Maybe not in the Champions League.
Look, I'm not gonna sound. Go ahead, Al.
Usually he drops deep into the midfield. He'll pick up the ball, spray a pass, make something happen. I didn't see him drop into the midfield at all. Like he was just staying up there, Lone Ranger by himself.
You know why?
More in there. Lucas Moura is more dynamic.
He couldn't run, Al. He's out of shape.
Yo, he definitely looked out of shape.
You asked him, dude. You're playing to get. Do you see Mane bursting with pace? Salah bursting with pace. Firmino was a little bit banged up. He also didn't look like himself. Like Kane, guys, he wasn't fit, so he couldn't do all the natural things we see him do.
Yeah, I don't know. It was rough. Now,
that's why it's on Poch.
Yeah, I think now I want to bode the question. Recently, we've seen the Champions League winner, a player from that team usually wins the Ballon d'Or. Do we think, like for me personally, I'd give it to Van Dijk. He has transformed Liverpool in a year and a half from a fourth-place team to Champions League runner-up to Champions League winner, losing the league by literally like a hair. I don't know, man. I think Van, like you can't. I mean, we're obviously big fans of Virgil when we don't overstate it, but I feel like just because he's a center back, he won't get it. And I just
Here's the thing. Go ahead. Oh, no, just because he's a center back, he won't get it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So,
Salah didn't have the year that he had last year. I think if Salah had the year he had last year, this year obviously he would be number one.
Yes,
It's that. Don't forget about the World Cup. Or was that?
Well,
oh no,
yeah, I
no,
guess, but
Modric. I guess
but
Modric. That was kind of
but-
Modric's year.
the big thing I see with Virgil is that he played all the games except for one game that he only played like 55 minutes or something. Out of 50 games, they allowed 33 goals. They allowed less than one goal a game. That is outrageous to say when it comes down to Liverpool. The Liverpool team that we saw 3 years ago, that any game could be 3-4 goals let in. But don't worry, we had Luis Suarez scoring 5 goals. So Virgil van Dijk, since he's come in since January 1st or 2 January 1st ago, everything has changed. He made Karius look good at times. But then once we got Alisson, that is a strong core that Liverpool have.
Dude, how salty is
Virgil
Coutinho?
is the most important person in that core.
Yo, Coutinho. On from his transfer.
Barca dreams, baby. Barca
Play at
dreams.
Barcelona. His old club's winning Champos. Probably gonna win a league title next year, and you can't even get in fucking over. These fucking bums over there at Barcelona, man.
And I bring him up because he's the reason why you guys won. Because you sold Coutinho, you were able to sign Virgil, you were able to sign Alisson. That changed the balance of your entire team. And like, look, man, dude, I have so much respect for this dude, Jurgen Klopp. I love his system, the Gegenpress. I mean, the fact now that Liverpool, looking forward, guys, is going to be able to add depth, even more depth. You added some depth this summer, but now it's like the world's your oyster, man, and that's scary, dude.
And the most important thing about Liverpool right now is that if they make 1 or 2 signings, Liverpool is not even close to being at the strongest what they could be.
I know.
They have
Henderson
starting. They have Milner off the bench. They have Shaqiri coming off the bench. They have Origi, Sturridge, Lallana. I'm talking about
Firmino.
Well, no, Firmino. I think he did well. Moreno. That's 7 players that they could easily upgrade on, as in they could maybe switch out. I mean, Lallana, and Origi. And Sturridge. Those are the 3 that I would see. Oh, sorry, and Moreno. Those are the 4 that I could see being swapped out this summer.
I'll say this, Huss.
Easy to upgrade on those players.
I'll say this, Huss. This is the
So we're
problem.
looking at a Liverpool team that's only at 70% max, I would say. They could get even better in the next 3 years.
Oh, they can for sure, but here's the problem. I'm only comparing this to Man United with Sir Alex.
So
here we go.
Let me keep talking, I will. Okay.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, this is Alisson, first clean sheet since 2010. Julio Cesar had it with Inter. Liverpool, most penalties awarded in Champions League this year with 5. What do you guys say about that?
Refs? How much you paying the refs?
You think that's about with 5? You think that's?
Yep.
Okay.
You got that Salah dive in you.
And then Liverpool have the 3rd most Champions League with 6, behind Madrid at 13 and AC Milan.
The 3rd most
7.
What? Champions Leagues?
Yeah, with Champions League trophies. And the big thing that I want to bring up again. Do you guys remember at the beginning of the year, Champions League, Liverpool beat PSG 3-2, but after that they had Napoli. They lost 1-0. Then they beat that Russian team 4-0. But then they went back and lost 2-0 and then lost to PSG 2-1. Do you remember how they almost didn't even make it into the knockout rounds? They had to rely on other games to get into the knockout rounds. So everything about this year has been a little bit different, a little bit crazy for Liverpool.
Time out.
I'm timing out.
Do I have to remind you about the Steven Gerrard OU beauty half volley from 45 against Olympiacos in the 99th minute to get Liverpool in the 2005 Champions League knockout rounds? They were out. Guy hits the best goal of his life to get you guys into that final. Then you go down 3-0, come back 3-3. That was the craziest run, man.
I'm not saying it's the craziest. I'm just saying it's a pretty crazy run. I mean,
just remember context. Like, you guys had crazy comebacks before this, which kind of made this final, like, the final sucked. Full paced. Everyone, it was all cagey. Like, the Ajax game versus Spurs and the the Barcelona game versus Liverpool were way better than the final in the end. Like, both those games were nuts.
Yeah, those games were crazy, though. I don't think the final sucked. Like, I get it was a little anticlimactic because of how soon the goal happened. But, dude, to me, these guys were pushing and prodding. You had dudes like Robertson pinging from distance. Like,
Defense.
guys,
Yeah,
they were coming at him.
what a baller. What a baller. I think the best left back in the world, Robertson.
I thought I was going to say something. If you want to bring up Robertson, let's bring up Robertson, and let's bring up Trent Alexander-Arnold. These guys are remarkable. These are two of the finest wing backs or outside backs that EPL have to offer. And what they did, even in this game, the shirls, oh my goodness, the bend that these guys have on the.
You know what's next? I call the gas, but I thought about it.
Finals in Champions League history. He was 19 the first time. Now he's 20. I mean, that speaks for itself, dude. This kid's young. I mean, the English national team is gonna be nice. Like, I mean, they got Trippier, who's now I'd say below Alexander-Arnold in that right back.
If that wasn't clear, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't think Trippier had a good game at all this game.
Did he disappear again?
Mane had him feeling those hamstrings, bro.
Mane
this dude Mane was ridiculous, guys. Honestly, I thought he was the player of the game. Like
Who?
Mane, Sadio Mane, dude. I mean, Huss, you better be careful. He's ready for that Madrid, potentially Barca. I think he fits your system perfectly. I think he should stay, but you gotta be careful, man, because this dude.
So I agree with you on that, but Mane has already said that he expects Liverpool to do more and he wants to win more with them and all that. The one thing that I was talking to you, brother, about yesterday was that I didn't see, not one time, Salah and Mane celebrate together. And that is nerve-wracking as a Liverpool fan. I wish that the two wingers could be friendly enough to – there was even one point where they passed off the trophy. They didn't even look at each other. Now, I don't want to make up drama. I don't want to start rumors or anything like that.
Yeah, you do.
But I feel like there's a little bit of something burning underneath the
it could be something as simple, Huss.
What do we say? Under the covers a little bit. That for each one of them thinking they're better than the other, maybe. So,
you know
but
what?
the point is, I'm a little afraid as a Liverpool fan to see that these two don't hug each other. They can't even shake hands. They don't even look at each other.
Honestly, Andy Cole, Teddy Sheringham hated each other. Like, they never talked, never spoke, won the treble, won a bunch of titles. Doesn't matter. Like,
different time.
Maybe they just don't like each other off the pitch, but they respect.
When there was less movement in the world, that was a different time. Nowadays, just one comment could make someone transfer.
Here's the thing: Firmino's the glue. Because you see, he celebrates what Mane. They do their little dances and stuff like that. Then they make up when Salah scores. You know, his big ass smile is there, first one there. So Firmino's definitely the glue of that tandem. If he does go, he'll be a little bit tricky to replace. I think you can replace his production, but can you replace the other stuff, the intangibles? I'm not sure so much. But as far as Spurs, I mean, for their season, like. Dude, I was mad nervous, man. This was going to be like the worst weekend of my life, dude. So I got to thank my stars. I got to thank Liverpool for not allowing Spurs to win a trophy. And again, it's a great moral victory for Spurs. But again, another trophyless season. Well played.
You know, there's a different feeling though with Tottenham this year than Liverpool last year. Maybe I'm being biased because I'm a fan of Liverpool. But I don't feel that same way that I'm thinking Tottenham's going to get there next year. I don't have that feeling. What I'm thinking is that they're going to make a run. They're not going to get anywhere. They're not going to win the league. And the year after, they're going to disperse. And then they start to decay a little bit.
Well, we heard Podge talk about potentially bringing someone.
I can't hear you. So
let him talk. Let him talk. Okay.
I was just going to say Spurs now are in the position where Pochettino's definitely going to stay. Pochettino said like they're looking to invest. He said Daniel Levy's like willing to invest. I'm not saying they're going to spend.
Right.
Hold on, Huss. Hold on. Look at my finger.
Yeah, I'm looking at your finger.
I'll put it down when you're ready. Go ahead, Snacks.
I was just going to say like they're not going to spend like the Liverpools and the Man Cities and the Man Uniteds of the world, but they'll spend to like at least bring depth in. They're linked with Andre Gomes. They're probably linked with another fullback here or there. So they'll. I'm not saying they're going to blow the teams away, but I think they're going to slowly and steadily improve. So maybe they won't get to the Champions League final next year, and they might not be in the title race. But like,
so you think Spurs snacks are going to slowly improve and build on a little bit to what they're doing? You don't think they're going to make Champions League final, but as far as the league,
I think
another top 4 finish.
Yeah, I think they're I think they're going to be safe for top 4. I think this loss doesn't kill them where Harry Kane wants to leave and where all those other players want to leave. I think it's more like, all right, we got there before, we can get there. And I mean, like, this is a very mute point, but Tottenham, the Twitter account tweeted, like, we thank everybody for coming into the season. We'll be back. So I think
nice moral victory. Nice moral victory for Spurs.
I think as a collective, they're ready to stamp their ground and try and show themselves as one of Europe's
back. You know who won't be back next year? Pochettino.
Going back. Oh, you think Poch is out?
He said, I mean, with the stadium apparently cost £1 billion, like over double the budget they expected. And so, I mean, they haven't signed anyone since Lucas. Before that, practically nobody. Fucking Llorente.
Look, apparently, reportedly out, funds have been.
If they don't change it out, man, like if he doesn't get that money to improve the squad, and he's throwing on Janssen at the end of the season because he's getting no options, like I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna go to Argentina.
I think Poch is gonna be there next year. I really do, but I think it's only for one more year. I think this Champions League final gains him one more year together, and I'm talking about even Eriksen. I don't think Eriksen's going to Real Madrid. I think everyone stays for one more year. If they don't make it past this, or even get to the semis next year, or even finish top 2 in Premier League, that's when I see Eriksen. That's when I see Kane both leaving. Then I see Poch leaving. And then once those 3 leave, who the hell knows what happens?
Spurs fall apart, Arsenal rise. Yep, like the sound of that.
Just look at my finger. Tom, tell Huss to look at my finger, and it'll stay up, and then when I put it down, I'm done. I think if they don't improve and they're stagnant, that's when you see everybody leave. But if they're improving and they're still winning nothing, I think it's hard. You're throwing a little too much shade at the Spurs team because, bro, they didn't sign anyone. Like, they should not be in this position. They should not have made the Champions League final.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a dope moral victory, honestly, and they made history. But you know, for me, like, as long as like Spurs like keep having moral victories, like while Arsenal's down, all right, cool. As soon as they turn into Liverpool and they start crushing the souls of Manchester United fans out there, see the way Al's over there, my bro had to avoid the podcast, because he couldn't deal with it. He couldn't face the truth. Man. Your arch nemesis has surpassed you to new levels now. They had already surpassed you, but now it's like they got the stamp on it. And that's what I could not take.
Not only that.
Once they win the league, I'll agree with that. Until then?
What do you mean? They won the Champions League. What are you talking about until they win the league?
Well, you got to put on your home soil.
That's not a good comment. That's not a good comment. They won Champions League. That means something. But the good thing about everything,
you, bro,
Manchester United had a chance to sign Klopp when Fergie left. And they said no because they went with Moyes. Imagine Manchester United going straight to Klopp rather than Moyes and LVG.
What if?
We're looking at a straight run right now.
What if?
They would not have. Oh my goodness, that would have been awful as a Liverpool fan.
Playing the if game again. I think the Champions League win definitely for the time being. I mean, obviously United's been down and out since 2013. Like, we haven't had a fucking solid season since. And with Liverpool, the way they're playing, they're playing better, nothing to show for it. Champions League title, now you guys are definitely have the upper hand in current standings as far as who's the more powerful club, on the pitch especially. I mean, you get the talent. You don't have depth, but
that's what I'm talking about.
When you get Virgil van Dijk on the team and you got Salah, Mane, like Wijnaldum, like, you're solid. I mean, we got a bunch of bums. So for the time being, enjoy it while you're on top.
And something that actually aggravates me a little bit is that Klopp has already come out saying Liverpool aren't going to spend the way they did the last few years. Now, I don't know if you remember last time that Liverpool finished second. They're going to go into Champions League for the first time in a while, and then they spent money on like 6 players at like 20 million each, rather than really taking a dip and trying to get that that one player or that two player that could make a difference. Right now, Liverpool just won the Champions League. Try to dip in the transfer market and try to get that special player. This is the time that you do it. You don't try to get.
What
what I'm saying is right now, you don't try to go get a special player when you're not making Champions League. You don't try to get a special player when you're finishing in the quarterfinals.
And what position?
I mean, this is the time that you maybe go for a Koulibaly at 120 mil, and that's the only player you go for all year. Or maybe you go for that. I mean, another player you could go for is Nicolas Pepe. He looks special, but he's not like that special player. You know what I'm saying? You need to go and look for that player that can make a difference right now.
I like the center-back picture. I like the Koulibaly shout. But other than that, and again, like Matip, like a center-back partnership is important. So I get Matip like by himself. May not be the best guy, but he may be the perfect fit with a guy like Virgil van Dijk.
I don't think he's perfect fit. No, I do not think that. I think there's a better fit out there, someone more athletic. Here's a little fun fact. Both of them are 27 years old.
Okay.
But yet Virgil van Dijk looks like 4 years younger than Matip. Matip, I thought it was like...
does it?
Yeah, dude. Virgil's way better than Matip.
No, he doesn't. What do you mean?
Matip's great to come off the bench. Third or probably third center back.
Dude, this dude, look, you guys have the best defensive record in the EPL.
Because of Virgil.
You just won the Champions League.
Because of Virgil.
Virgil didn't do that with Lovren. Like, he wasn't doing
Lovren was hurt.
But there was...
If Lovren was fully fit, I wouldn't be surprised if he was starting.
But again, he had half a year with him last year when he wasn't hurt. And you guys weren't pulling that shit. And I get it was their first time
Lovren
together.
Started most games. I believe Lovren started most of the games this year. And
they
they had a really good record.
And at the end of the day, when it mattered, when you needed the younger legs, the guy to stay healthy, Matip was there. And we just talked about the performance he did have in the Champions League final. So it's not like Matip hit behind.
Look, I'm not saying he's bad.
I agree that Koulibaly could be an upgrade, but dude.
I think Lovren and Matip are like B+ players. But the thing is, this is the time you go try to get that A. When your stock is high, that's when you try to buy high. Don't try to buy high when your stock is low.
I'm not mad at that.
This is the time.
But hold on.
See what you can do in the transfer market. If you have to go, cash a couple checks, maybe sell a couple properties, whatever. This is the time you do it right now. This summer, you just won Champions League. This is the time that you try to go not only for Champions League next year, but for the league as well. Maybe a couple other trophies. Maybe you can go for FA Cup. Try to go for a treble.
All right,
this team is a couple players away from going for a treble. I'm not saying that they will do it, but I'm saying they can at least contest for it.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Huss, and I know you can't hear me, but you'll hear it when you re-listen to the episode.
That's all I got to say about that.
Snacks are going.
The thing with Liverpool now is we see when a team wins, they are very reluctant to spend the next season. We saw it with Real Madrid, special teams, special players. They won 3 on the trot. They made like the young kid signings. They didn't sign the big players. We saw with Chelsea when they won the Premier League. They sold their striker and replaced him, but other than that, they didn't sign anybody to like come in and like improve the team after winning. So now your ownership has a decision to make. Other than Man City, with what we saw when they signed Mahrez for depth, and they didn't even sign anyone else other than that. They signed Mahrez. Like teams, Mahrez. That's how you say it in the Arabic accent. You don't see these teams spend because I feel like the teams are like, hey, well, we won with this team, and they're only getting a year older. And the thing that you said about Nicolas Pepe, like he doesn't look that special. Salah didn't look that special when you bought him. Mane, you could argue he could look special. He was an underground baller when he came in. But like, if you want to get these players like the Pepes of the world and these other players, you get them now just because you don't know whether they're gonna pop. Let's not forget, Pepe had 22 goals and 13 assists to help lead Lille, who had Jose Font starting at the back to a Champions League spot. Like, in terms of special, go ahead.
But my thing is, like, you got Salah at right wing, right? So you bring in a Nicolas Pepe. As long as he's willing, like, to accept their role. Because, again, this isn't like FIFA where you could just, like, lie to players and then buy them and then not play them. Like, these dudes will leave. They will spoil the locker room. There is a sort of chemistry that needs to be built. And that's my thing with this Liverpool team. I'm not saying don't add to it, but I think Liverpool should add depth. Now, can they upgrade on Matip? For sure. That's why I like the Koulibaly feature. But you got to be careful, man. When you add certain guys and, I get it. Liverpool want to go on and dominate the world, but at the same time, just pick and choose your spots. I understand why they said they aren't going to be spending crazy. They spent $70 million on a center back, $60 million on a goalie, 35 on Salah, and how much Naby Keita, did he come in for free? Or
No.
He was
they spent something like 200. They spent like 213 mil between the four players.
Like, let's supplement and see, and then maybe after I feel like next year. But I see what you're saying, Huss.
If they're not going to buy that top player, I'm fine with that. Then, if they get depth, because they need another right back, they need another left back because I think Moreno's out. There's a young center back in the Netherlands who's actually people are saying that he's actually rated higher than De Ligt, but he's 16. I don't know his name at the moment. I'll see if I can find him in the next minute after I stop talking. But I read something about a young player that they said that it's going to be more like a Van Dijk, where Liverpool has been in talks with his agent or something. I don't know. I have to look into that. That's kind of Fugazi's statement I just said, but I'll find all that. Sorry about that.
Because
Yeah. But again, find another center back. Maybe another center midfielder to take over for Lallana. Ox is coming back, which is going to be great. But then we also need another forward. And there's Max Cruz coming.
Origi, bro. That's your forward.
Relax. He scored 3 goals in the Prem, 3 goals in the Champions League.
Yeah, he didn't get rotated that much. That's big goals. He scored big goals. I'm taking
the last goal. I'm giving that last goal against Barcelona that Origi had. I'm going to give that to Trent. That's actually Trent's goal, not Origi's.
Okay, what about the goal he scored in the Champions League Final?
No, that was good. That was good.
Okay,
but
what about the one he scored in the Merseyside derby?
The one that hit off the crossbar?
Yeah, Pickford twice. I'm just saying this dude has a role to play at Liverpool.
No, that's fine. If you want to stay, that's great. No, I'm not saying he's going to get no, look, Sturridge is leaving before him. I'm not saying get rid of him completely. I'm saying there's another guy that's looking at, Max Cruz, whatever, from Germany. Werder, what's that? Oh my God. Yes, sorry. My mind is trash right now. But yeah, he's on a free. Trash. Yeah, right. He's on a free. Might as well bring him in. Then you got Rabiot. We talked about him earlier. He's on a free. Maybe go the Juventus route a little bit. Look at these players that are free. Maybe bring them in.
Thirsty. All right, fellas. Let's wrap it up, man. Any closing statements here, Huss? Oh, Al.
Cool. Sucks.
The salt is real.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll have enough time to find this kid that.
Give him a shot next episode, because I remember people when Donnarumma came out, and people were like, well, there's another 15 or 14-year-old who's rumoredly better than him. I'm like, all right, let's chill out on that. Like, these dudes are kind of generational type players, so.
All right, I think I might have found him. Maybe. So you guys.
What the what is that? I think I might have found him. Maybe, bro. All right, bro, you're done. Cut off.
Spurs choke. Champions League 2019. It's a wrap.
Classic. Thanks for being yourself, Spurs.
Yeah. Great. Oh, you might already be on Liverpool. Oh, wait. No, maybe that's not the guy I was thinking about. Anyways, it's a great feeling to see Liverpool win. It's a great feeling for me. It's also good because next year it's going to be strange. I'm going to have Champions League highlights and Champions League reviews by myself, because neither United or Arsenal in there. So it's going to be the Hussy hour, the Huss hour, or the hour of Huss. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll bring him Fareed back.
Guys, I want to
put you in your place.
You guys hit us up. What should my title be next year when I have the Champions League hour by myself?
God, dude.
It'll be Champions League hour brought to you by Huss. I don't know. You guys let us know what the title should be, because it's all going to be me.
That's a shitty sponsor right there. Brought to you by Huss. That's pretty shitty right there. All right, PFC Nation. We love you. We'll see y'all out there.
Champions.
Keep subscribing.
Champions.
Check out Facebook, out Instagram, all that good stuff. Hit us up on Twitter. We out.
Champions.